Good afternoon and welcome to the Nip and a Half Fantasy Football Podcast from Fantasy Football Hub. Paul, how are you? And how was your fantasy, well, I suppose weekend, but a funny weekend with FA Cup third round, one of my favourite weekends of the year.
Yeah, and 2 games qualify for it as well out of the three, so it's there is relevance. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. And my fantasy weekend was okay, and the midweek before was okay as well, and that's a positive okay rather than a okay.
I saw you you spunked some points off the bench from Akatike. I don't know if you remember.
It was like six
Yeah.
for Virgil. Yeah, feels I don't that doesn't happen to me very often, so I will take it. I will take it when it comes.
I always seem to get like 1-pointers and 2-pointers off the bench, whereas you see that people jamming 15-pointers and stuff. It's really annoying. Maybe it's the way I play the
Yeah,
game.
I remember getting a Suchek 10-pointer one time, but I can't recall ever getting I can't ever remember being the receiving end of one of these massive balls, and
Yeah.
I'm similar to you. I feel. Or maybe that's gambler's fallacy, though, right? I'll only remember the bad beats rather than the wins.
I wonder if that's a chink in our play as well, though, maybe, because it seems to happen to a lot of the good players a lot. So I wonder whether we're not sort of because I hate having a very good option first on my bench. I hate having it. I know
Yeah.
I always have a very weak bench, or normally have a very weak bench. Maybe one good option, but I very rarely have like a I don't know a plum defender or attacker at home, which some people do tend to it's like, oh, I got Rodgers off my bench for his like home fixture against Leeds or something, and you're like, how have you got that one? I got like 1 point Mukiele or something. But anyway, something to consider maybe. Should we start on FPL?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I think things are going all right for me. 720k now, which, albeit it's probably nothing to write home about in isolation. I was 1.3 million a couple of midweeks ago. I brought in James Garner, who not a lot of people talking about, and I know he scored in the FA Cup at the weekend there. I obviously didn't get the points there, but his last 3 games now: 16 points against Forest, 4 against Brentford, 6 against Wolves. Seems to pick up DEFCON consistently, and he does take all the set pieces for Everton as well. So I was pretty happy with that acquisition. He's only 5.1 million, so
Nice.
he's done pretty well for me. And Everton's fixtures are still good in the run up now. I've kept hold of Ekitike, and I've got Virgil as well. So I think my team looks relatively strong this week. I do only have the one free transfer, and I might use it. I've got Cunha, and thinking of either taking him out for either Enzo or maybe more likely Rodgers.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this weekend, but my team's set up quite nicely. Um, there's not much if I was wildcarding right now. I would change some of it, but there's not too much that I would change in there. So I think it's always you're always in a good spot when that's the case. So yeah, things are looking all right. What about you?
Yeah, okay. I had 56, which is enough for a tiny green. I think I'm just over 1 million. I was just on a look. I think I'm about 18 or 19 points behind you. So which obviously, as we know, is nothing. I made a very late FPL change, which I very rarely do. But I did Soberslay out for Bruno G, which turned out to be a very nice move. So 11 points from him. I thought he got the assist at the death as well. I don't know if you remember. There was a free kick sort of went in. I think it came off Botman, potentially, was it? And Barnes scored, but I wasn't sure if it came off a defender and stuff. But yeah, nice. Dorgu 5, Timber 6, Haaland and Thiago. I do feel sorry for the people who sold Thiago. That is just like five goals in 2 games. I was close to doing it myself, just almost sort of following the herd.
Yeah, looking at the stats behind that, right? It's like prior to that, what was it? He hadn't had a shot against the
Yeah, in the
against
previous 3
defence.
or 4 games, wherever it was. But I've still got Enzo and Rice, and they are not good moves, even though they sound it, because they were sort of left over from the same as Thiago, really. They were left over from the last tranche, and I couldn't get rid of them. So they've You know, they're like
Yeah, this is
flares. They've come back in fashion now. So
that's what you said. Adam Hopcroft always said to you, like, your team looks in fashion because it's been that long that you've held on to it.
so far behind the curve.
Yeah,
There is ahead of it.
that your bootcut jeans are now all good.
Exactly. So yeah, I've got Ekitike as well, and I'm reasonably happy with my team. I got Dorgu and O'Reilly and players like that and Cunha, but the rest of it I'm pretty happy with. So I need to get Gabriel. I've got 2 free transfers this week. Let me just check I have actually. I can't remember. I hope I got 2. Yeah, I've got 2 free transfers this week. And my plan was I thought Ekitike may have been injured, so I was going to do Ekitike down to, I don't know, like a Mane or Krupi Jr. and then do someone up to Gabriel. But it looks like he's going to be fit now, Ekitike. So I'm going to have to have a think about how to get him. How much is if I do Cunha to Rodgers? How much change will I get from that? Because that's the move I was thinking about as well.
Cunha's 8.2.
Rodgers like 7.1 or something like that, maybe.
7.6. So
Only
0.6.
0.6. How much have I got in the back? Well, let's have a look. I'll do this. Oh, O'Reilly. I'm not going to have enough. That's annoying. O'Reilly's 5.2. So if I did O'Reilly and Cunha to Rodgers and Gabriel, I don't think I'm going to have enough of my... Sorry, I know this is
0.1 shot.
Shut up!
Please,
You said
please say it.
it. You
Please say it.
serious? I thought you were going to say no. I'm not.
No,
I'm 0.3 short, so I can't do that. But that was going to be my sort of roughish move. My problem is my keepers are still dreadful. I've had Petrovic and Dubravka in since my game week 10 wildcard. I haven't changed them at all, and they're just not getting me any. I had like spunked Dubravka's 11-pointer about 3 weeks ago, but other than that, I don't think I've had a clean sheet out of either of them. So yeah, I need to do some thinking there, but I think I'm the same as you. Is I'm not far away from a decent team at all. There's been lots of chat about wildcard in 24, and looking at it, I quite like it in terms of the kind of team you can get. I'm not miles away from it, but there's some really big fixture swings. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm going to sound like you, but in all honesty, I've not put too much thinking into.
I can't see that on a
that.
fancy football podcast. Why are you here?
I know. Well, as we both know, FPL's that was certainly bottom of my priority list. I think it's bottom of yours, even though you might not want to say it, having hosting the Green Arrow. But yeah, I haven't looked into that yet. I'm assuming that there's big fixture swings there, or like the ability to restructure your team comes in it.
There are,
Right.
yeah. And you know, the whole thing now. You know, now we've got 2 potentially starting 4.5 million forwards, or close enough in terms of this. It'd be interesting to see if they can, if they. Sorry, what was I going to say? It'd be interesting to see if they both continue to start or be there thereabouts. But in Mane and Krupi Jr., you could have Haaland and those two. You could have a back five, because Munoz looks like you might be back soon as well. You could have an incredible back five and incredible midfield 3 or 4 as well there. And if you do go without Saka and Palmer, which I feel a lot may Saka maybe, but I think Rice and Enzo are doing enough. Palmer's got fitness concerns and stuff. It's going to be hard to pick the right City mid as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting on that. But again, I look at my team and I'm maybe not too far away anyway from, there's people looking to bring Enzo in now, for example, and things, and I've already got him. And my only key miss, I haven't got Gabriel and I haven't got a good keeper. They're the 2 things which I'm missing really. I haven't got an Everton defender either, but then they've been conceding goals left, right and centre. So
yeah, that feels like one that I would have done, and it's actually not worked out too bad.
Would you take out Foden to be able to afford Gabriel? They're away to United. Oh, they're home to Wolves next week, right? That's not nice. I've got Timber. See, this is why I'm not that bothered. But he's just an animal, isn't he, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, I guess this is the point of the season where you start thinking what your aspirations are. And I know you're not one for effective ownership and stuff like that. And Foden's been playing that bad and in a position where he's not been getting chances. Even his XGI, so assists and goals, has been pretty low. So it's not like he's just underperforming.
I know it's the Wolves thing.
No,
That's
thank you.
the thing. It's the Wolves game. Who's that?
Was my daughter
Oh,
said she had a cookie for me.
oh,
So
that's all. I don't have that, mate. All I get is the bird. I'll get shut up. Good stuff. Philip Derbyshire says sick and tired of taking out Gordon out of Dream Team. Maybe we'll touch on that next. He's had me for 40 points so far this season. FPL Spatter says, all right, all. Johnny Curry, evening all. Johnny, have another outstanding season. I can't remember if I called it on this pod or not, but I reckon Johnny is going to win Telegraph again this season, which would be an absolutely incredible performance. Jason Manners, evening lads. Wildcarded on FPL. Got Gakpo, Rogers, Wilson, and Buemo, Semenyo, Calvert-Lewin, Thiago, and Haaland. Nice wildcard. That's another one. Sorry, just thinking out loud. I'd made a bit of a short list of players, which I'm contemplating in most formats actually, and I think so players I haven't got, which I want in not maybe not all, but Chalobah, I think a Chelsea defender. Is going to be key. They've got an insane run. Chalobah, I don't have Rogers in FPL or Dream Team. I don't have Wilson in any format. And I think you haven't got Enzo as well. Maybe not so much in Telegraph, but I think in the other formats, like he scored a last minute goal on the weekend. They got like
it's good for tackle. He's good for tackle.
A 15 pointer. Yeah. So I've drawn up a little bit of a short list of the players that I haven't got. I've got them in some formats and not others. Wilson I haven't got in any, but I'm looking to integrate these players in over the next few weeks in all the different formats. I may not go for Wilson in Dream Team, because they don't have Europe. But I think is he like 2.8 or something crazy like that?
The Telegraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cheap. He's cheap. He's either 2.8 or 2.9.
Yeah, so definitely be looking. I purposely tried in Telegraph not to make like loads of transfers and try and burn through, because this period I know there's going to be loads of rotation. Obviously, we got the cups this week, and I think we can reassess after this. Now we're going to be a lot clearer on maybe who's going to go through to the final, maybe of the Carabaos. And the games start once a week again for the sort of lesser teams rather than this 2-3 times a week. Anyway,
he's the seventh top high. I know we're not talking Telegraph yet.
Yeah, we'll touch on that.
He's the seventh highest top scoring player on Telegraph.
Maybe we'll touch on Telegraph next. Windy says, do I have to pay a fine for being late, or do I just get another round in? What do you think, Paul? Fine or round in?
What's pub rules? Both.
If you're late, well, it's definitely a round, and just wonder whether to put a fine on top.
You have to buy yourself the worst shot behind the bar, like one of the paint stripper ones.
That's it. I'll do the top.
Has to be above 37.5%. That's the rules.
The dirty pint where you stick your pint in the slot bucket and have you ever done that before?
No.
Yeah, no. Where they get like all the drip trays, they just empty them into a bucket. Then one of our things a few years ago was you had to ask the girl behind the bar for a pint of the slop tray, and as you can imagine, it was very unpleasant.
I mean, I'm game. It sounds like a great.
I'm game. I knew you would be. Windy brought Gvardiol into all his Telegraph teams a couple of weeks ago. That's unlucky. And Johnny says, "Geez, no pressure, Fergie." Called it. Well, like I can't remember if I called it on the pod or not, Johnny, but I remember looking at your position maybe a month or 6 weeks ago, and I can't remember exactly, but I think you were something like 250th, and knowing how Johnny plays and how he's going to have transfers back and how good he is at the game, I think he's about 70th now. I might be wrong, but he was in this position last year. He had 5 teams roughly around 80th position, and he ended up winning by a ridiculous amount. So pressure's on John. Anyway, enough about.
He's 30.
He's what?
If you're looking at his team in the Ultimate Fantasy League, he's 33rd.
30. Oh, what, overall? Oh,
Yeah.
jeez Christ.
That
Wow.
team's 33rd. I'm not sure if he's got any other teams, but and James Northup, who's in our league, is fourth overall.
Blimey, chaps. Blimey, the standard is absolutely ridiculous.
We've got
Oh.
so there's 74 people. There's 74 in our Ultimate League. 10 of them are in the top 500 for Telegraph.
No wonder it's such a hard game, mate. I'm really finding it tough this year. How was your Telegraph week and weekend? Because obviously we had the FA Cup games, which threw up a few surprise starts. I can't believe Haaland started. Of all,
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
yeah. I've had an okay week. I think I'm around about the same place. I can't remember what overall rank I was. I think I'm up in rank. I'm 640th, which is okay. I've got a block Arsenal defence as well, so
Saw
I'm
that.
hoping that they keep a clean sheet against Chelsea. Um, I was a bit, I was annoyed with myself on one 50-50 call that I made, and I was trying to think if I had rethought it properly, would I've still done it? And I think my argument is I probably still would have done it, so I can't beat myself up too much about it. It was about whether I took out Gehi or took out Mateta. It's only cost me 4 points thus far anyway, so I'm not that because I kept Mateta and I felt he might have got minutes at the weekend based on how poor he's been in front of goal,
Yeah,
almost like as a confidence boost. Unfortunately, that was and with him having a lack of strikers available,
yeah,
which I mean, in hindsight, maybe they should have played. Maybe they should have played him.
absolutely.
So there was that, and then I was like, right, okay, I've still got Mateta on my team, and I'd considered moving him out for Rodgers. And I was like, right, well, the way that the Aston Villa Crystal Palace games work is you've got Rodgers away to Spurs, and then Palace play before Villa play next. So am I forcing a transfer for a 1-for-1 when I've got the same opportunity to do it next week? And maybe that is still the case. I just maybe I still don't do anything. And then when the Chelsea team sheets came out, just before the Chelsea team sheet came out, I was like, Chelsea's got great fixtures. If Enzo Fernandez is starting, because I think he is good in this format as well and picks up a tackle bonus, I'll make the move. Saw him on the bench and I was like, right, okay, I'm not going to make the move now. And the damage that it's done is that Chelsea would have played 3 times or 2.5 times for Enzo prior to Crystal Palace playing. So that would have been if I knew he was going to get minutes
Yeah.
in that game. So
You'd never,
yeah,
you'd never do it though, would you? You'd never bring
nah,
in
nah,
like
nah.
FA Cup third round. You know, he's let's get any
Especially
minutes.
especially in a game like Telegraph where
Exactly.
waiting is often better than not unless you're seeing the benefits of 3-for-1 where you think the person's going to start or such like. So yeah, as I say, it's been an okay week, but there was players that have hurt me. I didn't want Thiago. Um, I see no real benefit of bringing him in the short term for me anyway. There is a fixture gain at some point down the line where Brentford play after a lot of the popular teams that I could bring him back in. He's away at Chelsea this weekend anyway, so hopefully hopefully get a bit of respite from him in this format, and I might still make a move this midweek. If you look at the games and you include the Carabao Cup, where we feel that the 4 teams are likely to go strong based on the four
I
teams
think so.
rotating a lot
Yeah, yeah,
in the FA Cup as well. There's a 5-for-3 or a 6-for-3 by taking out Crystal Palace players
yeah,
for any of the 4 teams that's in there. Now, there is only a select short list of players that I would consider thinking about who's going to play all of those games. So, for example, you'd mentioned Shalaba
yeah.
already.
Shalabah.
So I've started drafting a short list of
Yeah,
those 4 teams of players that I don't own that I would consider Shalaba, Enzo. It'd be interesting to see who Chelsea playing goals. So if you're sitting with Henderson, maybe a move to Sanchez could be sensible there. I look at Newcastle. Would I say it's too late to get in Bruno Guimaraes? Well, no, because I think that he'll play the next 6 games.
yeah,
So again, you're getting 3 games potentially, either 2 or 3 games benefit by bringing him in. Lewis Hall, again, is only
yeah,
3.2
yeah.
million. So I think he's a good asset worth considering bringing in. Then you move to City, and most of the players are popular. And I don't know that I'd advise anybody to be going and investing in Foden just now,
No.
because he's annoying more people by holding than not. I don't know that I'd move for any of their defenders. So on the City front, there's probably less players that I would consider. But again, Arsenal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, maybe even Saka if you've still got money and you don't own him yet. I reckon Kepa plays in goal, so maybe not
Yeah.
David Raya. But so if you don't have any of those players, I do think it's worth like checking your team, considering because you're bringing in quality players as well. It's not
That's right.
I'm picking this differential player for the sake of fixture volume only. So there is an opportunity there, in my opinion.
Good stuff. Just to say, Johnny is 30th to 34th in Telegraph overall, so yeah, he's primed. How do you think Semenyo is going to impact the City players' minutes and indeed his own minutes as well? I've seen some chat in the Hub TFF chat, and for 3.1 million, you just leave him in, like he's just.
That's right. That was what I think I made that argument at the time,
Yeah.
and it's great to say something in hindsight and it
No,
come
of
to
course.
fruition instantly.
But do you think?
Because I always say,
Do you think it's Foden? Like, who do you think loses minutes, or do you just think it'll be like a rotation?
well, bit of everyone, I think. Doku, but then Marmoush has to come back as well, right?
Oh my
And
goodness, yeah.
we've not been considering that because he's been injured for a large proportion of the first half of the season, but he's going to get minutes as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of rotation. I'd say I've said this in the chat. I wouldn't be taking Semenyo out, but Cherky was dicking about in his own half doing keepy ups against Exeter, which I know that Pep's frowned upon historically, so I wouldn't be surprised. I know Foden's not performed great from maybe
He's
even
play.
I'd say from the aspect even on the field maybe
Yeah,
not so
yeah,
much. I don't know that I don't think it's him that's going to because he's looking for him to come in the middle and have
yeah.
control. So I reckon Foden's minutes aren't going to be too much at risk, but I think Cherky for the reasons of the competition of places and for that point that I've just made. I mean, I hope for Dream Team's sake that that's not the
Yeah.
case, but I could see him losing out on minutes now.
Yeah, we'll touch on Dream Team next, Harry. Just that result. Well, I suppose it's relevant as well for TFF, right, Liz? A lot of people own Cherky. Have you got Cherky in TFF?
Yeah,
You have. Like, to play 90 minutes and only get one assist in the 10-1 win is just that's that like Salah against Bournemouth esque,
you
isn't
think,
it? It's just
and
absolutely
you would guess
ridiculous.
you would have guessed based on how the team lined up that he'd been on most of the set pieces as well, and all the defenders cropping up. So anytime that I was seeing defenders scoring. Or was that? I know that some of it got recredited as own goals, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, that's like prime for a Cherky assist coming through. Yeah, brilliant.
Mental. Just looking at my team, I'm pretty happy. I've still got 2 Palace, 2 Arsenal at the back. I brought in Gabriel Tarkovsky just for them to concede in the 4th minute, but I had to get him in. It was the opportunity. I couldn't believe he started in the FA Cup, but I thought let's get him in. So happy with that. I've got Semenyo, Saka, Foden, Rodgers, and Bruno, Guimaraes, and then Haaland and Thiago. So I think I'm only on 25 transfers, but my plan is I think I know what I'm going to do now. I'm back up. I'm back up. I'm still like 4.5k, right? But I was down at 7.5k 2 weeks ago, which was just like it's just a nightmare. But I've made some good transfers in the last couple. I got Rodgers in, I got Bruno G in at the right time. Held on to Thiago, even though lots sold him. So I've had you can say that's a bit of luck because I could have kept Mateta, but I've had a bit of luck there. So I think my rough plan looking at my team is to move to either a 4-4-2 or maybe in a 5-3-2. I'm probably going to get rid of Saka and Foden in the next few weeks, as well as Lacroix and Henderson, and obviously the money with Saka and Foden. So say, for example, I go to Wilson, I don't know, just sort of thinking out loud a little bit. If I go to Wilson, I can then get whoever I want in terms of, I can either go to Saliba, go to Shalaba, go to Raya, go to whoever. So I know I'm probably moving into the template, but I don't really mind because I'll be down to 20 or I've got no designs again of
Yeah.
of challenging the leaderboard. I just want a respectable score. And yeah, I've got quite a few players playing now midweek as well. So I'm just reasonably happy, as in happy, content. I wouldn't have been happy at the start of the season, but from where I was a couple of weeks ago, I was staring down the barrel. And whilst now I'm definitely not gonna challenge the top 100 or few hundred even, I'm reasonably happy for a reasonable finish, I think. So, but we will see. Should we chat about Dream Team?
Yeah.
How was your week?
So it's going okay. I've got Cherokee captain, and hence my
That's
frustrations.
so unlucky. He
Um,
could have had an absolute. Imagine it out of the 10 goals if he had got what,
I'm
even
not
like
like,
1 goal and 3
you know,
assists or something, just anything like. You'd be on like a.
I'm not overly pissed off. I'm more pissed off the fact that he was doing that, and I like now think he gets no minutes against Newcastle
Mm,
because I like Pep's punished
because of
players
that.
for doing that before. Not like not taking games seriously or not respecting the opposition.
What
But
What were your transfers?
what was my transfers? Oh, yeah, I was tidying up my mess from the previous week, so I brought in Hall and Bruno G. So
Oh, nice.
uh,
Okay.
12 points returned between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like Hall came off the bench and got
7.
7
He's an
points.
animal, isn't
He's just beast on
he? He
bonus
is.
points on it. And my team looks the same as everybody else's, but I've got Gordon, got Gordon. I think you've got as well,
Yep.
but yeah, and he got a 17 pointer. So obviously very happy with that. So 55 points for the week, and with 9 potential players playing midweek. I've got Cunha and Henderson, who obviously don't have fixtures, and then the rest may or may not play.
Yeah, cool. I've scored 47. I captained Bruno G, and I must say I do feel fortunate. Though I would say that I didn't think Turkey would play both games with so many were going there, but to play at home to Exeter 90 minutes and only get 8 points is just considering the form he's been in as well and how well he scores in this game generally. He could have easily have had a 20-25 pointer, which would have been really hard for me. So Bruno G is going to play a game, against Man City. And like I mentioned on this pod last week, I think actually I like his sort of ghost point potential. I mean, he came on for whatever it was, and he's good for bonus points. He got 5 points. I can actually. Let's see if I can scroll over. He played
He scored
41
5.
minutes and got 5 points, which I can't. I can't argue with that. So, but I made 2 moves. I brought in Hall. I brought in Nunes last week instead of Hall. I wish I brought in Hall, but I brought in Nunes, which is fine. So I did Diaz to Hall this week, and I was going to save my second one. And again, I made a late change because I was going for Cunha, and I wasn't sure Cunha was going to play. I thought he might. I'm really surprised at how strong a lot of the Premier League teams, because I remember in the previous 2 to 3 seasons or even longer, no one's played anyone in the third round of the FA Cup. It's just been absolutely
Apart from Crystal Palace,
barren. Or maybe Palace,
they notoriously played a strong
but it's
team.
been absolutely barren. And even the teams, like even this week, the teams who've got they played last midweek. They've got the semi-finals of the Carabao less than a week later, and they're starting their stars at home to Exeter. I just don't get it for the life of me. But I was tempted to hold on to Cunha for the week, but then I looked at his fixtures for next week and the week after. I definitely want to get rid of him, right? And I didn't have Gabriel, and I know I'm always keen to own the player I know can really
Yeah.
hurt me, so I just did it. I'm on a 4-5-1 now with Nunes, Timber, Gabriel, Hall, Foden, Saka, Cherky, Gordon, Bruno G, and Haaland in a 4-5-1. I got Henderson in goal, so I've got 10 potential players playing this week. I kind of agree with you on Cherky. I think all the rest will play. I think Cherky will come off the bench. That's my thought. So I think I've probably got 9 plus anything off the bench. And looking at it, probably what was my thinking? I had some rough thoughts. I can't think now about subs for the next week or so. But I've got a good team for next week. Apart from Henderson, I've got 10 playing players. All good fixtures. Pretty happy. So I've got 0.8. I'm just having a look again.
What's your team value now?
58.8.
It's the same as me.
And I've got enough for a keeper for 4.2, which I think Donnarumma might be 4.2. Could do that in one.
Yes, 4.2.
Do that in one move. How much is Raya? Is he a bit more? Is he like 4.4 or something?
Correct.
So I can either just go straight Henderson to Donnarumma. Obviously, all being equal, right? This depends what happens midweek. But I can go straight from Henderson to Donnarumma. And saving the transfer and have 11 doublers for next week. That would include Cherky. But, obviously we don't know what's happening in the next week, with if any injuries or whatever else. But looking at my team for next week, it's looking good. I would then have 5
Well,
City.
just roll the other one.
I think so. Well, as it stands, I would have 5 City, 3 Arsenal, 3 Newcastle.
Yeah. So I've got the same team as you now, other than I've got Cunha and you've got Nunes.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take Cunha out and I'm going to take Henderson out. And this was before you and I, like this is the first time you and I have discussed it. But I was thinking of doing that as well. So I'm thinking of moving to a 4-5-1 potentially because I don't want to mess about with the midfielders, even though there's good value in loads of midfielders. I think a 3-6-1 formation would probably be
you're right, yeah. Oh, Rogers is the person I'm interested in. There's a potential to do Cherky to Rogers, maybe. Yeah. That was the other one I'm thinking about. I don't know.
Enzo Fernandez, I guess, would be a shout. There's a lot of viable options in there. Rice, I think, is like a decent option as well. I'm not touching midfield. I don't think, unless I felt that Cherky was definitely out of favour. So I might move to 4-5-1. So I've looked at pairings for goalkeeper and centre half who I can just afford, and so I could do Raya and Reece James or Sanchez and Frimpong. Like now with Connor Bradley out for the season, I'm thinking that the Liverpool players are decent. Would be decent holds as well, especially attacking fullbacks when you think Frimpong's going to play. So I've got a few options there, but those are a few players I'm considering. It's interesting if you look at the homepage where it tells you the most transferred in, most transferred out. Now, it's sometimes hard to gauge whether that's relevant or not because I consider my competitors a Venn diagram, including the outside rings of the top 2,000 players plus engaged managers that perhaps aren't having a great season, and that's who I'm competing against. All of those people. So it's hard to say out of all the game, am I competing against the people who are making these moves? But Thiago, in fact, in FPL is the top most transferred player in this game week away at Chelsea, and is in the top 3, is third on top transfers in DreamTeam, but he also is in the top 3. He's third on transfers out as well.
He scored like 50 points, didn't he? Yeah. In the week. I saw there was one guy in one of the mini leagues who did he captain him or it might be max cap. The captain on max cap. He got over 100 points from one player.
Well, I saw somebody not max captain Strand Larsen.
I saw that as well on the weekend. Yeah. It's a good shout, that isn't it? Home to Shrewsbury.
If you felt Ekitike was fit, I think he would be the prime differential this upcoming week.
If he starts this evening against Barnsley, so he would then be home to Barnsley, home to Burnley. You tempted to put him in Telegraph?
Nah, not because I'm looking for that in Dream Team, maybe not in Telegraph.
In Dream Team as a sorry, I'm thinking you'd have to sub him in Dream Team this week when he was like you
mean transfer him in tonight?
Against Barnsley. They're 1-16 to win. They're gonna get some serious point. The only thing I would say is that the only team that Liverpool have a 2-0 against in Telegraph is Villa. So you could maybe, if you had, you could maybe do like Rodgers to Ekitike and then back to Rodgers, or move off someone else back to Rodgers. But it feels a bit, I don't know, just two amazing fixtures. They could batter Barnsley like 5-6-0 this evening, and then they're home to Burnley on Saturday.
You're taking the gamble on him, like playing the full 90. Whereas I reckon if he starts tonight, he only plays 50. Or I'm not saying that that's not enough time to do damage, but then does that put his minutes at home at Burnley at risk as well if they're managing him back?
I don't think so. I think if he starts this evening, I think he's going to get 65-70 this evening, and probably the same again on Saturday, which is
games one. You could see him taking my half time. I don't know,
maybe.
Yeah. But it wouldn't tempt me, albeit it would maybe tempt me in Dream Team, and that's. Do you know why? Do you know why? Possibly because I'm doing worse in Dream Team than I am Telegraph, and therefore I'd like to play the upside of somebody that was a bigger differential, perhaps.
FA Cup's just starting. Thank you, Jason, for shouting that out. Have a look. Picking the balls out. I'll keep a brief eye on that, although we are finishing soon. So how are we looking, mate, on the overall leaderboard?
So you and I are very close together. You're in 25th average mini league rank of 30. I'm in 23rd average mini league rank of 29.7. So I'm basically on average one place above you in one league. And
that's 7 places, is it?
Two places.
2 places.
It's just Martin Burke that's in between us, and he's got the same mini league rank as I do. And then in the top 10, we've got Dan Sherwood in 10th, Tom Gledall in 9th, Carl Bennett in 8th, Johnny Curry, reigning champ in 7th, Mark Williams in 6th, Thomas Daines in 5th, Dale Pointer in 4th, Carl Weeks in 3rd, Ben Parkin in 2nd, and then Keith Ledger has an average mini league rank of 2.7, 3rd in Dream Team, 3rd in Telegraph, and 2nd in FPL.
That is absolutely insane.
I'm sure this is the 3rd season that we've been playing this. The 4th that you and I have been playing it, because you and I competed against one another in the first season. But since we set this league, and I'm sure by the end of it, every season has been a runaway leader. Like James
I think you're right.
Like won it, like significantly played well across the 3. Johnny Curry last year, but third, and 2nd.
That is an insane performance with this audience.
Only used 2 Dream Team boosters as well, so it's not like not that I think that would make too much difference on that anyway, but that's still mightily impressive.
Liverpool, if they beat Barnsley tonight, are going to be home to Brighton in the 4th round of the FA Cup. I was looking at Liverpool's run. They've got a nice run. They go Barnsley this evening, then Burnley, then Bournemouth, then home to Newcastle, then home to Man City. Then they've got Sunderland, Forest, West Ham, Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton, Fulham, Everton. That's all the way into April, that is. That's a hell of a run for Liverpool. Jeez. Mad.
That's why I was thinking of Frimpong potentially in Dream Team. And I had looked at Alisson as well, just to again go something completely different.
Arsenal home to Wigan in the FA Cup. Nice draw for them. Look. Be quite slow.
The young boy Rio's starting for Liverpool. I don't know if that makes the chances of Ekitike starting higher or not.
Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea away to Hull. Some really nice draws for the.
That's the Liam
Rosenior derby. Yeah, it is incredible. Some nice ties for Arsenal and Chelsea there. Again, it's will they play the big guns. This is good podcast material. Just
what do you think of Reece James? What do you think of Reece James as an asset in Dream Team?
I haven't given him too much thought. How much is he? I don't really know.
He's cheap actually, like 4 point something. does value matter too much at this stage?
I
Anyway,
don't think so. I don't think like accumulating value matters as much. I think we do that in the sort of first half of the season, don't we? Less
4.4, 4.4,
4.4 is quite good. How much is a Shalabar?
3.5,
How much?
3.5.
Cheap. Flipping heck. He's got a propensity for a goal as well, haven't he? Southampton, Leicester, I think. Oh, okay, mate. Good stuff. Yeah, the AKTK one is interesting. If he does start, if you're completely flush with transfers, not very often you get two absolute banker home games. And like I say, looking at the odds, I like to look at the odds on on certain things to how it may. But they're 1-16. I'm guessing against Burnley, they're going to be like 1-5 as well. They're going to score goals in those games, I'm guessing. But interesting. Burton versus West Ham. Nice draw for
Couldn't bring myself to bring
nice,
Bowen now, just based on
nice draw for Burton.
how
given West Ham's awful form, Spurs might win
How's it?
next week.
You see, the Crystal Palace gave Macclesfield all the money from the ticket.
Did they really? That's
Yeah, I thought it was good.
fantastic.
It was good gesture.
That's awesome. That's really good. Yeah, Southampton home to Leicester. Okay, yeah, we're not going to sit here for the next half hour, I suppose, are we? So, yeah, good to catch up, mate. And yeah, we will back next week, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. Oh, Villa Newcastle. That is a good game. Thanks for that, Jason. Yeah, we will see you all next week. Thanks all.